Hello everyone, thank you for joining me for today's plan with me. This week I have been so excited to use this kit. This is a kit from Jackson Pepper. Someone was destashing this kit and I purchased it from them, and I cannot tell you how many times I've watched Gathered Plans and Nicole of 20 something planner, and I think even I found that Tay had one the other day, plan with Jackson Pepper kits. And unfortunately, by the time I was watching those videos, and by the time I sort of came into the more decorative planning side of things, they'd actually closed. I can't remember if it was originally supposed to be maternity leave and then they just never reopened, or if they were taking a break and then never reopened. But I was gutted. I just remember checking all the time if their shop had reopened and just being absolutely crushed that I couldn't buy their kits. So the idea that I have now had one to plan with is crazy to me, and I have so looked forward to it, and I just love it. The colours are perfect. I love neutrals. I'm not very good with brighter colour kits. I love purple, I love pink, and I love the kind of cream and the beige. And there's even just a little touch of yellow in it. And I'm so happy to have used this kit. And I did post a story on Instagram, but just in case you are someone that's thinking, there's loads of kits in your collection that you're never going to use, but you don't think anyone would be interested in them, or if you're just, unsure that there would really be much point in destashing or reselling them. Honestly, the joy that you can bring someone who couldn't get hold of that particular kit at the time, or loves that shop and loves the format of their kits, but just can't afford to be buying them at full price. Because I was having a look at some kits the other day on Pretty Pink Co website and Miss Meow and Sadie stickers, and it's just so expensive now. So if you're willing to sell them for a lower price, just in case it's something you're thinking of, I just think it's worth saying you could really make someone's day, and mean that they can get the most out of the hobby they enjoy. So I just wanted to say that, because I cannot explain how happy I was. Sorry, I just need to move my chair. I cannot explain how happy I was to get this kit in the post and actually get it out and use it. It's so interesting using older sticker paper, because the quality of sticker paper has definitely changed over the last couple of years, and it's so funny to me because it's so thick, and it's not kind of it's good for this planner obviously because as I've said numerous times before, the paper rips really easily, but this sticker paper wasn't particularly sticky, so it was so much easier to move things around and not really worry too much about ripping the page. I went all out on this spread. It's a light gold kit, and I don't have much in the way of light gold because I refuse to buy 4 types of foil. I will not buy gold, silver, rose gold and light gold. I will not do it. I have so much gold in my collection, in Crafts by Towie icons, dividers, full boxes that I've amassed over the years. Half boxes, and you know what I mean, functional boxes, that's what I was looking for. I cannot imagine how much more it would cost me to start also adding light gold every time I make a purchase. So I just went for gold. I had a few freebies in light gold, and a couple of people that I've bought destashes from over the years have, included extra things that they wouldn't necessarily use, and some of them happen to be light gold as well. So I have managed to pull in some of those, but in terms of my icons, they are all gold. And I think there's a couple of things from Honey Inked and things that are gold. I didn't know that Honey Inked wasn't open. I went to look on her Etsy page the other day because I think I was maybe looking for some kind of branches or flowers, or to see if she had some butterflies, because it's really hard to get hold of tiny butterflies. If you're looking for tiny butterflies, Pretty Pink Co has both butterfly clusters and mini butterfly deco, which I have picked up recently because I wanted, once I found them, I didn't realise that they had them in that shop. But so if you're looking for them, have a little look there. But anyway, I was looking on the other day, and there's nothing. I don't know if she's temporarily closed or closed for good, but yeah, just bizarre to me to see that she's not open, because she was big when it feels like a few years ago. Everyone in the planning community was using her her deco stickers. So yeah, it was just a real weird sort of thing to come across that another shop was closed. It feels like a lot of shops have closed in the last couple of years, and it's a shame. But anyway, I was really looking forward to using this. I went absolutely all out. I went crazy. I did print my own smaller flowers, but I didn't end up using them because actually I really enjoyed using the bigger pieces of floral deco, but I had printed some smaller ones to use just in case, and then I just ended up going all out. It was like stickers just exploded across the pages. And that's fine. Sometimes you have maximalist spreads, and that's okay. It's too intense for me every week. When I look back at the week before, there's so much more white space, and I definitely prefer that look. But it's still a very pretty spread. There's only one thing that if I could do again, I have used half boxes, and the sticker that I've stuck over the half boxes, it's sort of a fancy edge design box. I don't know how to describe it. I've used it on Wednesday and I've used it on Sunday. I wish I'd used a different box in that half box, because actually looking at the whole spread, that's where my eye goes to, like the weird shaped box. So it's the only thing I think I would do differently. I absolutely adored this kit, and the white deer stationery icons matched it perfectly. Obviously I had my Crafts by Towie icons. So yeah, I think that's me talking enthusiastically enough to bore your absolute socks off about this kit. Like I said, I don't really know where a lot of the freebies are from, because they were freebies, so apologies. The dividers and things, I don't know where they're from. I know I used an old, very old freebie from Mintu Studio, and I don't think she does those kind of stickers anymore, but I could be wrong. I'm not up to date with the planner sticker world at all at the moment, and for good reason, because I would still be spending so much money otherwise. I did place an order, as I mentioned before, with the Pretty Pink Co, because I needed some dividers and some tropical deco for a couple of kits that I've got coming up for some holidays that were going on later in the year, and I just wanted to make sure that I had some stuff ready, because it can take some time sometimes for Pretty Pink Co orders to get to me. So I just wanted to make sure, if it's going to take 2 months to get here, that I wasn't stressing about it. And then I was naughty, and I did treat myself to a couple of extra butterfly things that I did not need, but they were so cute, and I thought, since I'm ordering it anyway and it costs £10 to ship to the UK, why not just add a couple of extra little things? So yeah, I did make a one-off purchase there. In terms of the plans this week, I'm already on Tuesday, so I can't see my phone very well while I'm doing this voiceover, so it's difficult to kind of see where I'm at with the plan with me, but I apologise if you're already absolutely bored out of your minds. This week it was Easter Monday on the Monday, so I had the day off work. We had a food shop delivered in the morning. I've been getting back into Criminal Minds. I go through phases where I will watch stuff that I've watched before, and I will watch it start to finish all the way through. So I do it regularly with Sex and the City. At least twice a year I watch the entirety of the Sex and the City TV programme. Criminal Minds, I do it with at least once a year. Poirot, 2 or 3 times a year. The David Suchet ones I watch start to finish, and it's amazing how much I forget in terms of whodunit and the plot line. Some of them I know inside out, and I could probably recite half of the lines. But yeah, those are my big ones. Friends, I think, is common for a lot of people to go through. BoJack Horseman is another one. CSI is another one. All those kind of shows I go over and over and over. I'm trying to think if there's another one. Pushing Daisies is another one. But yeah, Lewis will come down. He's like, oh, you started on this again. Oh, Desperate Housewives, that's the other one. And Devious Maids. And it's so funny to me that he's sort of like, I don't know how you can watch it again. It's like, what? I don't understand how you don't have a comfort TV show. He will watch a TV show and just never watch it again. And then we did a really nice walk with Wendy in the afternoon. We've been trying some new places. I've been feeling really stuck at home. Not to make this really heavy, but having lived with long COVID now for a couple of years, I go through phases of everything's fine and I'm getting on with life. And yes, I'm tired and I sleep a lot, but that's just life and you get on with it. And then I go through other phases where I get really low and I feel really frustrated, feeling stuck at home, feeling like we're not getting out on big dog walks. I love going to woodlands and big proper walks, not just down the path next to us to the local field and to the local golf course. I want the more interesting walks because it does so much good for me. And not being able to see friends or having to kind of manage how often I'm seeing people, and I can only do one thing every weekend, and and it really gets on top of me. So recently I've been feeling that low feeling, so we've been looking, we signed up to a subscription with All Trails, and we've been using them to find walks around us, and that's been working really well. We've done 2 so far, I think, and we've got another one planned, and we're going away with Lewis's family on a weekend soon, and that will be dog walks galore. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, sorry. So we did a really wonderful dog walk. That was the first one that we tried. And then on the Tuesday, I filmed and edited my plan with me. We watched a film called Renfield that's been on our list for ages. My husband is a huge Nick Cage fan. And it was actually really good. It was Nicolas Cage and Nicholas Hoult. It wasn't a good film, as in it certainly wouldn't have won any awards, and it's not something that I would, unless you're a Nicolas Cage fan, I don't think you would enjoy it. But it's just a bit of fun. It's about a vampire and his familiar. Well, it's mainly the story of the familiar and trying to sort of break free of Nicolas Cage's character, but it's got a lot of good humour to it. And it's got the actor who played John Ralphio in it from Parks and Recreation, and I do find him funny in the roles that he's in. So yeah, if you're a Nicolas Cage fan and you haven't seen it, definitely one to pop on the list. On Wednesday, my family came over. They were in the area because my sister had a hair appointment at the Curly Salon that's in Bristol, so they came over and they showed us, they'd just been to Thailand, and they showed us all the photos and videos from there, and they had a really lovely time, and it was so wonderful just to kind of hear the stories as they're showing them to us on the TV. So that was just really nice quality time. Thursday, more Criminal Minds, of course. And I also rewatched This Country from the beginning. I forgot how side-splittingly funny that programme is. I was absolutely dying at some of the jokes. I knew it was funny because we'd watched it before, and I remember thinking it was absolutely hilarious before, but I haven't watched it for a few years. And some of the episodes are absolute gold. So highly recommend if it's been a while or if you haven't watched it before. It's a UK country. It's a UK TV show about, it's sort of like a mockumentary of people who live in the southwest, and it's just absolutely hilarious, especially being someone who has lived in the southwest for the best part of 15 years now. It's so accurate, and it's very, very funny. Friday was another very quiet day. Just watched more Criminal Minds. I did a lot of printing and cutting. I didn't want to mark it over every single day, but I intensely printed kits to the point that I've almost exhausted my colour ink. But I did a lot of printing and cutting of kits to sort of line up where I wanted everything and just to have it kind of ready to go. So I did do a lot of that, but I only marked it on one of the days. I took Wendy out really early on Saturday. I was up really early out of nowhere and got really kind of restless and frustrated, and I didn't want to bother Lewis. So Wendy does not like going out in the mornings. That girl does not like to go out before midday. She certainly doesn't like being asked to get out of bed until after 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. But it was about 8 a.m, if not earlier. And I just thought, well, I'm just going to lie here frustrated, and I'm going to waste hours and just not really get anywhere or improve the situation. So I thought, I'll get out, clear my head, just me and her. And we had a really, really, really lovely walk. We walked all the way to the golf course, did a bit of the golf course on the way back, and we were probably out for about an hour and a half. And she was absolutely good as gold for the entire day after that, as you would expect. Lou went for his suit fitting. He's going to be a groomsman for one of his friends in July. And they have left everything to the last minute. It is, I'm not stressed because I'm not part of the wedding, but if it was me, I would be really stressed now that everything is down to the wire. But that's fine. I haven't had to plan a big wedding, so I don't know what the reality of that's like. And then on Sunday, I filmed and edited another plan with me, just to kind of get ahead of the game. And I believe that is this one that we're looking at, actually. And I'm recording the voiceover for now. How funny, because I was thinking I haven't really had to do much planning this week, so that would be why I just got way ahead of myself. And then we did another one of the walks that Lewis had found. It was wonderful, but it was very steep going downhill. It was fine coming back up because it took us kind of around and through a valley, and then it was a very gradual incline on the other half of the circular loop. But getting down into the valley was so steep and uneven. I really, really struggled. And then we decided to stop and get a pub lunch. I had to be really careful with my choice because of the diet stuff that's going on. So I was originally just going to have a portion of chips because I am allowed to eat potatoes and oil. So I thought of all the things, a bowl of chips is probably best. But I did end up going for cod and chips, and then I just peeled off most of the batter to try and avoid having as much gluten as possible. And then I binge watched You that evening. I sort of had a vague interest in You over the years. I liked the first season, didn't really have much interest in the rest. I thought the plot line with Love was a bit more interesting, but I've sort of dipped in and out of it, haven't followed it properly. But I thought it was a really strong ending. I actually really liked how it ended. It didn't feel frustrating to me, but like I say, I'm not kind of a hard true fan, so maybe other people would disagree, but for me, I thought that was an absolutely fine ending in terms of all of the possibilities that could have been. I think that's probably all we could have hoped for in terms of someone finally getting the consequences of their actions. And we played some Call of Duty. I haven't had much energy for Call of Duty lately, so we've kind of not been playing as frequently as we had been before. My energy levels are just so up and down. So some weeks I'm just not up to it. But anyway, this is how the spread looks all together. I hope you enjoyed this plan with me, and I will see you in the next one.